Hi everybody, and welcome to our final boot camp video. Before I get to the assignment, I just want to congratulate you for making it this far. If you've really done every single challenge, you've carved out the pockets of time, the 10 to 15 minutes here and there, so that you can put a good hour in every other day to get these assignments done, and you've actually messaged and texted 40 people, dialed enough to talk to 8 people, and did the out and abouts for 12 slips, then that means you should have contacted 60 people. That's a lot of people. Okay, and that means statistically, if 1 out of every 6 to 8 that we talk to schedules a party, hopefully you've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 new bookings. And from the posts I've seen, some of you are already there and well on your way. Okay, so today's challenge is going to be tied to host coaching these new hosts. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about host coaching, although I could. It's one of my favorite subjects. I think host coaching is sort of the unsung hero of the business. But I want to encourage you. Really do some research on host coaching. Become a great host coacher. If you never want to have to come back to boot camp again, you never want to have an empty calendar again, you want to be a great host coacher, because when you're great at host coaching, you work with your hosts very closely to help them have a big crowd, a varied crowd, and outside orders and outside bookings. You'll never have an empty calendar again, because you will develop what we call a self-sustaining calendar. You will get the bookings that you need from the shows that are in the books. But the part of host coaching that I'm going to be focusing on for this challenge, since this is a booking boot camp, is how to work with your host when you're host coaching to talk about and help them secure outside bookings. Wouldn't you love if a couple of your hosts said to you, oh, I have the name of 2 people who want to have parties, and they gave you these names as you walk through the door, or they messaged them to you saying these people want to have parties even before the party happens? Wouldn't it be great? Of course. So while you're working with your hosts, whether it's a live or virtual party, and we want them to get outside orders, but we also want them to get outside bookings. So what I say to my host is, if it's a live show, I say now, usually only 1/3 of the people that you invite are going to be able to walk through the door. So it's super important to over-invite. And then I say to them, but don't ignore the 2/3 of the people who can't come to your party. Because very often those people are kind of bummed that they can't make it, and they can still place orders. And of course, your host rewards are largely based on your sales, so those outside orders can really add up. But then I say to them, do you know what you get when your friends book shows from your show? Very often they don't. And I let them know, you're going to get a half-price item or set of your choice at their party. So I say to them, I want you to look and listen for 3 different things when you're talking to people, when you're following up with them to collect our RSVPs. There are going to be some people who appear to be really, really sincerely disappointed about missing your party. They'll say something like, oh, I'm so sorry I can't come to your party. I'm so bummed. I love Pampered Chef and I haven't been to a party forever. And what I say to them is, I want you to say, oh my gosh, you should have a party of your own on a day that works better for you. If you booked it, I would come to it. Do you want me to have my Pampered Chef lady contact you? And then I say to my host, does that sound like something you could say? And 9 times out of the 10, they go, yeah, sure, I could say that. And I say, great. And then I'll say to my host, now the second thing I want you to be listening for is, let's say someone can't come to the party and they say, but I'd love to flip through the catalog. They're a coworker and they start flipping through the catalog and they start writing things down, and then they start crossing things off because they're like, oh, I can't get everything I want. And so they write things down, but clearly they want more than they're ordering. And I'll say to them, what you could say to them is, thanks so much, I'll definitely put this order in on my party, but it looks like you want more than you can get. You know what? You should think about having a party of your own on a day that works better for you. Because you know what? If you booked it, I would come. do you want me to have my Pampered Chef lady contact you? And again, I say to my host, does that sound like something you could say to someone who's clearly ordering, wants stuff, and then has to cross stuff off their list because they can't get everything they want? And my hosts usually say, yeah, I could definitely do that. And then I say, great. And I say to them, now there's a third group of people that I want you to be listening for. Those are the people who say they can't come. And when you say, oh, I'm sorry you can't make it, but hey, did you want to check out the online catalog, or did you want to look at this catalog? They say, you know what, I can't right now. I am so broke. And I say to them, first, I want you to make sure that's not the reason why they're coming, that they're not coming to the party. You can tell them they don't have to purchase anything just to come and have fun. But if they truly can't make it that night, I say to my host, so it's a pop quiz. What do you think I want you to say to them, or I would encourage you to say to them? And they usually go, maybe that they should think about having a party of their own. I go, yes, exactly right. And then what would you say? And sometimes they can't remember the next thing. And so I fill it in for them. I say, and if you had it, and they go, oh, yeah, I would come. Do you want me to have my Pampered Chef lady contact you? And I go, exactly right. And I say, most of my hosts, there's usually at least one person who can't come to the party, wants to have a party of their own. And they don't have to attend the party in order for you to get the booking credit. I can follow up with them if we put a date in the system before I send the show in. Guess what? When their party happens, you're getting the half price item. So I won't say that all of my hosts get me outside bookings, but I will say that every single month I get outside bookings as a general rule from a few of my hosts. So your assignment is Sunday and Monday to reach out to the people who have booked through Booking Bootcamp. And even if their party's coming up in a couple of weeks, great. Even if their party isn't for a month or so down the road, just to touch base with them and give them some ideas to help them kind of get the ball rolling. Plant that seed, work with them. Don't just tell them get outside bookings. Don't just tell them what they get for a booking. Give them the words to say. I know as a consultant when I was new, I loved it when I went to a training and they gave me words to say. Guess what? Our hosts appreciate it too. So give them the words to say to get those outside bookings. If you would like, and only if you would like, you can consider sweetening the pot if they give you the names of 2 or 3 people that want to have parties. And you could say to them, you'll get a half price item at every single one of those parties, but when that third party holds, I'll throw in X. And you can fill in the blank. If you're not sure what you would give, talk to your director so you can kind of figure out how much it would cost you and what it would make it worth your while. But consider that host has to give you the name of 3 people outside of the party who schedule parties of their own. Okay, so it could be worth it to you if you're really looking to boost your bookings after boot camp is done. Okay, so host coach, Sundays and Mondays are a great time to host coach. A lot of people are kind of looking ahead and planning ahead, so it's a great time to connect with your hosts. When you've completed the assignment and said, I've talked to my host about bookings, put that in the comment section and you will get a ticket for the completion of that. If any of your hosts give you names of people who happen to schedule parties before the drawing is actually done sometime on Tuesday or Wednesday when I'm in Mexico, or wherever your director is whenever that drawing's done, go ahead and keep us posted on any other bookings that come to fruition before the drawing is done so we can make sure to give you the extra tickets for it. Okay, so good luck.